What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Staincast, episode 22. We got some guests. We got Mr. Hag. Hag's dying in the background, as you can see. We got Mr.
Technically,
Joe.
Joe's not a guest. Joe's a
okay.
Staincast member.
Okay.
I'm a guest on the show.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. Fair.
We'll split the difference, and we'll be like, it's Joe to ho, ho, ho. What's going on, everybody? Well, happy Christmas, happy holidays, you know.
Yes, happy holidays. This is our Christmas special episode. Welcome to the most consistently inconsistent podcast you guys probably know.
We pride ourselves on it. Don't worry.
Look, we're trying. We're doing the best we can. We told you guys these last 2 months have been very busy for DL and I. But we're still here. We're still giving you weekly content. It just changes the day, so that's all that matters to us. And hopefully that's all that matters to you guys.
I mean, you guys are going to get a damn episode on Christmas Eve. What other podcast giving you an episode on Christmas Eve now?
That's true.
Definitely something special about that.
Mm-hmm.
But this week we are covering not our first Nightmare, however, not the same franchise, A Nightmare Before Christmas. A great, fantastic movie that I have not seen in a while before this one.
I forgot about this movie, and I was pleasantly surprised when I watched it again. I mean, there's so many great things about it. And I just love the overall atmosphere of the movie, but I'm sure we'll get into it. But just the broad strokes of it, I guess, if we wanted to do that. I haven't seen this movie since like my sixth grade like music class. I remember we watched it. We were doing like all the for the soundtracks and stuff like that. We did like Home Alone, those kind of movies. And I really didn't remember anything, but like the only thing I remember for some reason is the mayor, because he's
hideous. He's hideous. But
so many hideous characters in this thing. That's the movie is good. The character design and animation is like
fantastic,
top tier.
Yeah,
one of the best things ever put out.
I feel like that's just Tim Burton though. Tim Burton just makes really weird looking, like kind of eerie dolls and like all that stuff.
Well, I guess we should preface this. This is not only our first Tim Burton movie, but our first stop motion animated movie. Technically, our first animated movie in general that we're covering.
Besides Incredibles.
Oh, you're right. Never mind. I forgot we did.
I was about to say, I know we did something that was.
Yes, we did do Incredibles, but this is our first stop motion as well as first Tim Burton. Technically, unlike Coraline, and I think the other one is what, Frankenweenie? Is that one that he did?
Yeah, there's a couple others. There's a couple.
Yeah, but this is they all have a similar feel to it, and this is a Tim Burton movie. From concept alone, technically, unlike Coraline and the other movies, he did not direct this. He did not do the stop motion. He did not do any of that. But his influence, clearly, if you've seen any of his movies, is all over this thing in the best way possible. Like you said, the character designs is one of the best, if not the best part of this movie, and that is because of the way that Tim Burton, just his style, I guess, is the best way to put it.
Yeah, he's not there, but his style definitely shows. Because again, he did come up with the concept, I believe, and he was there for, I think I heard somewhere like 10 to 15 days of filming, which sounds like a decent amount, but this thing took like 3 years to make. Which is crazy.
Stop motion animation takes forever to make.
It is insane. Like you think 3 years, like what were you doing 3 years ago? I think it was my first semester away at school. That's
a long time.
True.
December 2019. Like, think of all the stuff that's happened since then.
Jesus.
One movie,
a whole pandemic. Like, Jesus. Wow, that's wild.
So by now you guys have seen the intro, and you guys are wondering what the hell is this? And it's just a new thing we're playing around with. If you guys like it, be sure to say. And if you don't like it, also be sure to say, because we're playing around with it. We're trying to find some more ways to just make it more streamlined, so we're not
we're trying to become more of a professional looking podcast, like some of the ones that you guys may have been listening to for years, or that we've been listening to for years. We're trying to grow. So please let us know if you guys like it, if you don't like it, if you think it's too long, too short, whatever the case may be. But this was a great actually it's a great episode that you were even on this, because this was of course a creation from CMO Joe the Ho.
Yeah, the marketing team loves feedback. Let me know.
The marketing team being himself.
Marketing Instagram. I've been trying to do a lot more with the Instagram Reels, making it a little more involved, and follow us on Instagram if you're not.
Yes. Oh, he's doing the plugs for me.
I have a crush on our marketing team. The entire marketing team.
The whole marketing team.
We try our best.
But I guess so. Going back to what we're actually talking about before, being the
holiday bonuses. No holiday bonuses. I'm sorry.
Merry Christmas.
I'm trying to put in a swimming pool. Dang.
Nope.
No. But so now I guess we'll go back to the actual movie itself, and we might as well just hop right into the categories with our favorite and least favorite characters. Now, I feel like it's cheap saying this, but whose favorite character is not Jack Skellington?
Yeah.
I mean, the Pumpkin King, the goat.
He's just
The
cool.
design is great. He's just cool.
I weirdly relate to him too, and no, that makes like no sense, but I feel like for some reason I kind of always related to that character. I couldn't say what about him.
Is it the build? Is it the build?
Yeah, the tall,
I'm
lanky.
not lanky anymore. I used to be. I used to be tall and skinny. Maybe that's why.
But I also think that the voice. So there's two voices that are done for him. Danny Elfman does the singing voice, who's also the composer of the film. He's composed so many things, like more than I can even list. No Way Home. No Way Home. The Simpsons. Wednesday. The Force Awakens. Anything that deals with the Simpsons. 50 Shades Dark. Like he has done everything. And if he didn't do it, I mean, like, anyways, so. He did the singing voice from him because the guy who did the actual voice, Chris, Sarandon?
Yeah.
Sarandon? He did the actual voice from him, which if you couldn't tell based on just watching the movie alone. Most actors can't sing, so like most animated movies have different singing and
it's actually a lot more common than people think. And I think the only reason that Danny Elfman gets so much credit is because I honestly think Jack Skellington is singing as much as he is talking in this movie.
I think more.
So much it might be more. Like he honestly probably did more of the voice, and I think that's why when you look him up, it is listed as both because it is really common where the main voice actor does.
I'm pretty sure that was a thing for the first High School Musical. I'm pretty sure Zac Efron didn't sing in the first one, right. and then they got shit for it. And then he actually sang in the second and third one. I might be wrong about that, but I remember reading that a few years ago.
I think it was most of the cast. I think didn't because
was it? No. I'm pretty sure like Vanessa Hudgens definitely sang.
No,
Ashley Tisdale definitely sang. I don't remember the actor's name, but the guy who played Corey, he definitely sang or sung whatever the thing is. Sang.
Sang.
Anyways, but yeah, so I personally think that also why Jack Skellington is so appealing is because of the voice as well. The voice, I think, fits the character beautifully, the singing voice as well as the actual just regular talking voice.
We're banging them off friggin' all at once because it's our first musical, too. First musical we're covering.
Oh, my God, it is. No. Oh, my God, it is.
Mm-hmm.
This is.
I was just thinking about it.
Monumental episode.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, seriously.
It's a Christmas episode. Damn, that's what I'm saying. Holy smoke. I say, and the good news is that it's a good musical because I'm like the biggest Scrooge when it comes to musicals.
Oh, I hate musicals. Like we just watched Spirited this past weekend.
It just takes me. It's like the definition of taking someone out of the movie. It's like, all right, here comes the scene, and now here's all the actors like holding hands and freaking doing a kick line.
Yeah,
it's like, what the hell?
I will say, like, so it was. Spirited was cringy. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. Like I'd give it a straight 5. Like it is the definition of mid, but it is just. The musical aspects is what took me out of the movie, like DL was just saying, and it's just like I don't need this in a movie. However, this movie does use it very well.
Yeah, there are definitely some exceptions to the rule of me not liking musicals because there's amazing ones. Like even I feel like at some points we have like in Polar Express when they're singing, like it's not a musical movie, but like it doesn't distract from the wholesome content that you're getting.
I've always said this about musicals. Singing in them is good when it's not just for the sake of singing. Like when you actually when they actually take in the time to put a good song together, it's great. But I feel like a lot of times in musicals, it's just like, oh, it's a musical, so there has to be singing, so they kind of just throw something together. And I love the music in Polar Express too. I think it's
more of like it's when they turn it right on the head. When they make it like a filler. When it's when it's just like, all right, we have a certain amount of time we have to allot for singing, music, all that kind of stuff. And they kind of just like compile all they're looking for, but there's no like love put into it. Where this movie, you can really tell that everything kind of came together at once. Like the story was written with the music in mind.
Exactly.
It can stand alone. I think that's the key thing. If the song can stand alone without the movie, it's probably
love the music in this movie. Yeah. And that is we were saying before how like I haven't watched it in a while either, just like you, DL. And the thing for me that always stood out that I remembered is the music. Mm-hmm. Like I don't remember the names of them, but I just could sing the tunes. And like a couple days before we were watching the movie, or Chet started like singing the songs, and I was like, damn, like now I'm really in the mood to watch this movie because I remember the songs from whenever
In my
years
head.
ago I did watch it in the past.
Yeah.
Oh, you cut out for a second for me. Oops. Sorry.
Oh, well, it's okay.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, excellent.
But I guess if you guys want to go into your least favorite characters, unless you guys have other options for favorite besides Jack.
No, I think he's really the only choice.
Yeah.
Oogie Boogie would be like a subcategory, but like he's not a
Yeah.
main, like he's not in it enough where I can really give it to him.
Exactly. And apparently too, he's not even a villain according to Tim Burton. Like, he's not a villain.
No, there's
That's
no
what he
villain
classified
in
him
this.
as.
Like,
He's just a character. There's no antagonist in the movie technically.
yeah,
They're all
it's
just
just
doing
Oogie
what they
Boogie's
think
just
they're supposed
doing
to
his Oogie Boogie's just doing his thing. It's just he's just looking like that.
It's hard to like wonder how morals play into like a Halloween
Town, yeah.
It's I don't know how that works. I don't know how the justice system over there works.
We'll have to watch Halloween Town, the movie, and we'll figure it out.
Not Halloween Town, but
I since we all agree on Jack, I don't even know who my least favorite character would be, because it's just one of those movies where they're not really out to like put any character on a pedestal with how like evil or crazy or whatever they are. Like, maybe I'd give it to, what is it, Dr. Finkelstein or whatever his name is.
Yeah,
Like, maybe him, just because he's freaking hideous.
I love his character design. It's so good.
All the character designs are good. It's just they're all
Yeah.
He's hideous, but he's supposed to be.
It's just like, I don't want to say diversity because it isn't, but like in terms of like a creature diversity, it's so well done. Like, there isn't just like the same humanoid, like all same height, same
even
face.
all like there's a group of vampires and every single one of them is distinctly different.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's
I mean,
a tall
it's so much easier
lanky
to do
one.
it.
There's a tall fat one. There's a small one. Like, they're all different.
Yeah, it opens up the door for so much stuff when you have stop motion, when you just have figures. Like, there's so much you can do, like so many subtle differences you can put into the characters. Let's like, even when you're animating them moving, you're animating them just like talking or whatever. Like,
Yeah. And I think the
expressions are
reason
great in this movie too.
Yeah, the expression and the character design itself is really what carries all the characters. Because the characters in this movie, they do not say much at all. Even like the main characters, they don't really say all that much. It's more the design and the actions that carry the movie.
yeah,
It's just nice to look at. It's just a really like
yeah.
well done stop motion movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I do agree with you there, DLs. Like, there's no least favorite character. Like, all the characters are there and serve their purpose for everything they do.
Yeah, I agree.
So I guess then we can move along to make or break moments of the movie.
I really don't even. I'm trying to think. I mean, I
I don't have any
obviously-
breaks, if I'm going to be like completely honest.
No.
I
It's
think
just
this
not one of
movie
those.
is great
It's not
as
one of
it
those
is.
movies that I'm putting on my skeptical glasses for. Like,
Yeah.
it's an older movie already. It's stop motion. It's talking about creatures in Halloween Town or whatever it is. Like, there's
Like,
nothing.
to be honest, the entire time I'm really watching this movie, I'm just thinking to myself, wow, they did this with stop motion?
Yeah, no, it looks really
Like, it
good.
is so impressive. All
Mhm.
the movements that especially like Jack being like the weird body builded character that he is, or Sally, how she falls apart. Like, each character is so like distinctly different, and they all have their different movements and motions and everything they do. That it's very pleasing and appealing to just like you said, Joe, just to sit there and look at.
No, it's really incredible, especially when you consider how long everything took. I mean, again, 3 years to make a
That's a
movie that
long
plays about
time.
an hour and 15. That's insane. I mean, I would say for me, the biggest make moment was the fight scene between Oogie Boogie and Jack Skellington, because I was watching that yesterday. I completely forgot about that scene. That didn't like, stick with me. But thinking while watching that was made with stop motion it's just mind blowing.
That's true. Like, Oogie, like all the Oogie, the traps that Oogie Boogie has, and how Jack's like so quickly and fluidly dodging them, and it is good. And then when Oogie Boogie, when he pulls his string and Oogie Boogie starts to fall apart,
and so much going on at once, which in stop
Yeah.
motion is not easy to do.
Yeah, syncing everything up at the same time and stuff like. It's the things you take for granted when you have people on the screen. It's like, all right, just tell everyone to do this one like kind of dance or kind of thing. But then you look back on it, it's like, all right, if one character like moves slightly different, like you're gonna notice it. Like, because obviously it's like one little pictures being grouped together. Like when you start pasting them together, it's gonna look a little weird. So there was just so. I mean, is it definitely took 3 years to make? Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 3 years to make.
That's crazy.
I wonder how long of that was literally just taking pictures, like just having the characters move. Probably most of it, honestly.
I forget how many frames it is, but it's something insane.
I
And
couldn't
again,
imagine.
they used real studio lighting. Like they had to work on to give it like the real look that it has. It's so much goes in, so much more than animation, in a completely different way. It's
Yeah.
such
And
a
then they
mix
had
of
to-
animation and like real live, I don't know, camera work and lighting.
And then they had because Zero was stop motion, and then they had to put the ghost effect on all of
I
his
have no idea how they did
stuff
that.
too.
Yeah.
It's
they must have had like a
crazy.
reference or something that they were just using for him. But yeah, no, it's amazing, especially in 1993. I mean, obviously, like at this point, there's been a lot of movies like that. But even so, like when you think of movies from that long ago, you'll never. It's not often where you come out and be like, "Wow, that's a really good looking movie." Like it doesn't happen often for older movies.
Yeah, agreed 100%.
I mean, another scene I really like was when Jack was singing when he's like walking around. And he's just like the tree or whatever it was like bending down for him. Like it's just there's a lot of like really like you guys said, not to beat a dead horse, but it's just a very pleasing looking movie. Like all the scenes, the way it moves, like the background behind it, like it's just so purposeful.
I only wonder what we're going to give cinematography.
Yeah, I wonder. Yes. So stay tuned, guys. This one's going to be
This is
come
a
down to the
doozy.
wire. Yeah.
Well, something else I love about the movie too, and it's not even like the movie itself; it's just what came after it. Was that there was nothing that came after it. I love how there wasn't a prequel. They
Thank
didn't try to make an adaptation.
God.
It was good as it is. It doesn't need anything else. And
Thank
apparently,
God.
in 2007, I googled this earlier. I didn't know this off the top of my head, but Disney was trying to make a remake in 2007. It was going to be CGI. It wasn't, or it was going to be animation. It wasn't going to be stop motion. And Tim Burton shut it down because a certain percentage of it. He said no. It doesn't need anything else.
No, it is perfect as is. And also, always forget this is a fucking Disney movie. This is the least Disney movie I've ever seen.
Without a doubt. And apparently, too, when it released, Disney didn't release it with the Disney logo on it in the beginning because they didn't think it was going to be as popular as it was. And they actually thought it was too dark for their like younger audience. But obviously, afterwards, they stuck their logo back on it
because it was successful.
Such a
So
huge
they,
success.
yeah, they were like, "Oh, money! I need that," even though we're Disney.
And this movie has such a following. Like, I don't know if you guys knew anyone in school who like their personality was based around this movie. I had like 2 or 3 girls in school.
I know of plenty of people that are like that.
Such a fan base. And again,
Yo, get that smirk off your face.
I'm just thinking about it. It's just
that's
sickening.
what I'm saying. It's sickening.
It's crazy that it has such a following, and there's an hour and 15 minutes worth of its content. Period. There's nothing else.
I think I can name at least like 10 people that have been like Sally for Halloween some year. Which also, keep in mind, this is a great Halloween and Christmas movie, which, there's not many Halloween movies besides horror movies, of course, but it's a nice, just like Halloween movie to watch. It also, I mean, I think it's also great because it combines probably, arguably, 2 of the best holidays.
Yeah, definitely. And that's another point too. And again, I don't want to see a sequel, but I am curious what the
other doors were looking like. That's
I feel like the St. Patrick's Day world would be hideous. I feel like it would just be, I don't want to know
It would be bottoms up. It would be bottoms up.
Bottoms up and everybody dressed in green. That's all. That's what it would be.
Everyone doing funnels with a shamrock shake.
I can't believe Chet did that. I am interested to see what those other worlds look like, though, because especially after seeing the little bit of the Christmas one that we did, and then of course the very much that we saw of Halloween, I feel like the others would be very great. But
I've always had a soft spot. What were you saying, Nick?
I don't need anything else besides what we got.
I've always had a soft spot when it comes to like world building, when like you show things that you have no intention on ever like expanding upon, but it's like just the fact that the substance is
that
there.
It exists.
Where it's like, oh, they could. It's like, oh, look at all these different worlds, like you said, like it's Halloween, Thanksgiving, Valentine's
Easter,
Day, St. Patrick's. It's like you just think about it for a second, like, wow, what is this going to be? And then they don't show you to like obviously there are examples where you could do that very wrong. DC is pretty good at that. Pretty shit at freaking doing. They kind of not managing expectations.
Gotta get the Warner Brothers.
Of course, the DC slate. I mean, DC is in shambles now. Like we've been talking, like we had like thank goodness we did
James
it for
Gunn
Halloween.
to announce his slate
Resignation.
We'll see. Once he announces the slate, then I'll know what's going on.
It looks like just a
complete reboot. all that's staying is Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, John Cena as Peacemaker, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, Idris Elba as I don't remember the name of the character, and Jason Momoa, however, he's getting recasted to be Lobo instead of Aquaman. That's it. That's all that's staying.
That's fucking. I mean, like, I'm not. None of those characters are particularly like on my shit list, but I don't know. They're not very.
I mean, Peacemaker
inspiring.
after the series, cool. I mean, I'm not mad at more Peacemaker.
It's cool, but I don't know.
I do think Viola Davis is also the best version of Amanda Waller that we could get, so I'm fine with her staying as well.
Yeah, but no more DC.
The others, yeah, agreed. I guess then we can go to favorite quotes, which all right, so this isn't really a quote movie. It's the songs are great, and that's what I would be quoting, but I'm not going to sing the songs or play the songs because copyright. And we're on YouTube now.
Fair use.
YouTube gods are not known for
their leniency.
Yeah, leniency.
Yeah, not at all. Trust me, not at all.
That's sickening.
What was it? Oh yeah, no, I only had one quote. It just always perks my ears up when I hear someone say box.
Of course.
When he's talking about Christmas, when he's explaining Christmas to them, it says this whole thing starts with a box.
Oh yeah,
and then
and
then they're singing it or something.
I did not pick up on that. That's amazing.
Yeah, literally every movie, we're on like
There's
a hot
box.
streak now. Exactly, every movie I watch, like it's somehow, some way a box is involved. I mean, obviously it's a freaking shape. Like we're out here trying to claim it as our own, but we're on a hot streak. Every movie I've seen in the theaters, it's mentioned at least once. It's like you have like the English language has so many words,
and box is in so many of them.
Yeah, because in Violent Night, when we were watching Violent Night, she's like, and shove it up your box, and I'm like, bro, first of all, you could have said 100 different words instead of that.
Yeah, a box.
Yeah, but
especially considering that movie is rated R.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like they had literally the free reigns to cook up whatever they wanted, and that's all they had.
That's what they put. But anyways,
but I don't know. It shouldn't be coming up as much as it does. You know?
Yeah,
It's kind of fun.
like I said, my ears are just always perked up for it. I just hear it. Like it's like a cocktail effect. Like how you hear your name across like a bar, I hear that word across the world.
That's true.
Anywhere, anytime, anywhere. If someone's chatting about a box, I know about it.
Joyce tonight. Anyways, so I guess then we can move on from quotes.
Did you have any, Joe?
No, I didn't have anything that stood out to me in particular. Yeah. It's hard to like nitpick little things in this movie. It's just really, it's like a masterpiece overall. It's hard to pick like.
I mean,
also feel like
movie.
I also feel like when I'm watching it, I'm more engaged in the actual effect of them doing the motion themselves than whatever the hell they're actually saying. To be honest,
the visuals are the best part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you're more watching the events and not watching the characters, if that makes sense. I guess it kind of makes sense. Yeah, but I mean, besides that, then I think we're kind of in the same boat we were before. Like, I don't know how you pick out a in a movie like this.
So the only thing that I like, and I'm being like super nitpicky, is when Sally jumps out of the window and she falls apart. I'm pretty sure the pieces don't line up to where they are when she's sewing herself together. But like, I'm being like super nitpicky on that right now. Just to have something.
And her like creator or her father or whatever it is, he's already dead, right? So like when she tries to put like deadly nightshade or whatever it is, like it's not going to kill him because he's already dead, right? Is that how that works?
I don't know.
Because you kept trying to poison him and then it put him to sleep. So like I don't get how something that's deadly would put somebody to sleep. But whatever.
She's just trying to put him to sleep. I think they use the word poison differently. I don't think she's trying to kill him.
Okay.
I mean, there are many forms of poison.
Because I'm pretty sure she literally said deadly nightshade. Like deadly was the adjective. Whatever. It's not that. I was just saying. I just thought it was weird because I thought he was slumped. Because I haven't seen this movie in forever, and I was like, damn, she freaking killed him, but he's just snoring. I'm like, oh, that's upsetting.
He's had a headache afterwards too.
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy.
It's just like he's hungover.
That'd be nice. Having a little bit of cyanide, and all of a sudden you just got a headache after the fact.
That'd be calm. That'd be a calm.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad. It wouldn't be too bad at all. Yeah, but I don't have anything like.
Yeah, there's nothing else I can really.
Jack Skellington, he got the drip.
That's Pumpkin King. That's true. That is true. If I was
Pumpkin
tall,
King
I'd
posed.
do Jack Skellington as Halloween one year, but I'm unfortunately a short king.
You could be that professor. You could be Dr. Frank. Whatever his name is.
Never that.
So B's got to be Oogie Boogie.
B, I need that off him.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess then we can slide right over to some goofs, which I don't think there were many in this. If I was looking at them right before, here we are. So there's a couple different categories we could go to. Just because this is a stop motion movie as well as an animated one, I'm going to go to one that is crew or equipment being visible. And this is so around 8 minutes during Jack's lament on the top of the hill, the light being used at the moon can be seen in a reflection, which is interesting.
A little side tab. Another thing I like is like their perspective of things, how they call them like Sandy Claus. Like instead of like Santa Claus, just because like based on word of mouth, like how quickly something like that can change just based on like who hears it. I think that was like a nice little like below the surface kind of thing that they were doing. Like all the different like themes of Christmas. They're like, oh, you give someone presents. Oh, is there bombs in it or something like that? Like them just assuming. Like I thought that was cute.
No, because it's foreign to them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't understand the concept at all. All they know is Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
That suck. I couldn't imagine not having Christmas.
I can't imagine only having Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I had to be stuck in a holiday, I probably would pick Christmas. But I mean, if you were in it all the time, it wouldn't be special.
Yeah.
If I had to keep one holiday, like say I had to give them all up, I wouldn't want to, but I would definitely pick Christmas. It is the best. So I'm here for the Christmas special.
Yeah. I don't know.
Christmas
That's a tough one.
tomorrow.
It depends on the occasion. Because like Halloween does have its goated moment.
I mean, of course it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got its goated plays stitched in.
We know firsthand for the past 3 or 4 years now.
We know all about that.
But then, Jesus Christ,
Probably my
that your
the
straw?
That was the straw.
Jesus,
Yeah,
man.
it was sucking me.
But I guess
big or go home, go big or go home, baby.
yes, sir.
Yeah, but I mean, did you see any other? I mean, I'm looking at the goose, but like it's like you said,
There
there's a lot.
wasn't. Yeah, there wasn't much else that I really felt necessary to point out.
Mm-hmm. Also, another thing I have is for the mayor, like, what is his faces? Like, I feel like they're the same character when he switches his faces.
I think it's his emotions,
Okay.
like anxiety, or something like that.
He is supposed to be the same person, right? That actually is a good
Yeah,
question.
I'm pretty sure it's the same. It's the same person, just his like
Because
emotions.
I was trying to figure out
that.
like what was different because his face would just flip around, and but I couldn't.
I think
find
it was when he's like sad or nervous or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I know when
Because there doesn't
when
seem
Jack.
to be any personality change.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Well, DL, I think you know what time it is.
This is gonna be a tough one. This is gonna be the straw reach. I freaking reaching for
I got
reaching for
another.
straw. All right, guys. I'm leaned in for a very good thirsty moment of the movie for you guys this week. It's stop motion. They're puppets. They're probably about. They're probably about
2
like
inches
5
tall.
inches tall. Yeah, like a couple inches tall. You know, that's how we like them. I don't know, Sally. I don't know, man. What do you want me to say?
I got nothing for you.
He's the only
Female.
I mean, there's the witches, but actually, wait, I'm going with the middle sized.
The middle-sized witch.
Yeah,
All right,
the tall one, not the short one. The one in the middle.
that's calm. I mean, yeah, but they're fucking
And
puppets.
Jack Skellington, of course, but that goes without saying.
No, Oogie Boogie. Oogie Boogie's my thirsty moment. When he's green, only when he's green.
The green
When he's,
one?
like, the neon
Yeah.
green.
The green is so much better.
Mm-hmm. I agree. But that's all I got for you guys at thirsty moment because it's stop motion. You freaking horny animals, calm down for God's
So
sakes.
we'll be back with another one next week. I don't even know if there's going to be one in Venom. Actually, I don't know about that.
Well, stay tuned. We'll see what happens. I mean, anything is bad. You can only go up from here.
That's true. We can only go up from puppets. But now it's time for the question of the week, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, hold on 1 second. Let me do it. Ready? And so every week we ask you guys a question on our Instagram at the Staincast every Saturday. Try to get you guys involved, do a little fan interaction. We ask you guys two things: how much you like this movie and your thoughts on stop motion. Most people said they liked. Oh, B and Mumbarilla give it pretty low scores.
I think they're hating on everything, though, right? Don't they hate on everything?
B does. Mumbarilla just has extremely hot takes.
Right.
B hates on everything.
I can't find it.
But Mumbarilla, I put it in E2. But Mumbarilla put that at half. That's interesting, Mom. I don't know how I feel about that.
Mom's just got niche style movies. It's like you, Joe.
True.
I would say he's a little bit more niche than you are. I mean, you've seen that man's freaking taste when it comes to food. It's like very similar. Where like he's got his tried and true movies like genres, and after that, it's kind of just like he's hating on the genre, not the movie. Yeah, that's my guess, anyways.
I feel like I'll like something in particular about a movie, and then that will flip my entire view on it. Like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of things that you guys have rated really bad on the Staincast, I'm like, I didn't hate it. But I keep my opinion quiet.
We get paid the big bucks to be critical, though.
Yes, that's true.
The show would be not very interesting if we were just freaking laughing
Talking about
yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you got to give an honest opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But the main question that we asked you guys was your opinions on stop motion animation. Joe, you were the first one to answer. However, I'm going to save that because you're on the one itself. But so we have Father Queel. He said, often overlooked as one of the most important mediums in film and television. B said E.
Nice.
Mumbarilla said, looks a little funky at first, but once you get used to it, you don't really notice it.
I'd agree.
Which I can understand, yes. I mean, going into a movie knowing it's stop motion, like you kind of know what to expect.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's kind of part of that's why you watch a stop motion though. Is like if you really don't like the way it looks, then you wouldn't watch that movie. I don't know. It's like when I don't know. I don't even know how to describe besides that. Like you kind of know what you're going in for. So like when you get there, there's nothing going to be like, oh my god, that looks terrible, because stop motion is pretty straightforward in terms of like its application. I guess you can say like what you do.
RP24.
How do you have the viewers see
it? RP24, not to be confused with Chet Stable, sent a picture of Pat Riley. And then Mr. Willie Banks said, absolutely amazing. Wallace and Gromit are an amazing lineup of stop motion, which fun fact, have not seen any of those movies.
They're good. It's very like British humor. That's the best way I can describe it. But British humor can be funny sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes is a key word.
Joe,
sometimes it's really good, and other times it's kind of cheesy.
But Joe, if you want to elaborate on your response at all before DL and I give ours.
Can you read my response? I forget
exactly. Yes, you said very underappreciated. You said very underappreciated for how much time it takes.
Yeah, no, it is 100%. Like really, like you have to really watch that movie and appreciate how long it takes. Like that makes the movie. I mean, if you go into it not understanding stop motion, you're not going to appreciate stop motion as much as you should. It really is probably one of the hardest and most overcomplicated ways to make a movie, but you get good results.
Yeah,
true. But I pretty much agree with what you said. I think that this is a great subgenre. I don't really know what to call this, or what it's classified as, but.
I would say it's
watching
probably a subcategory of animation, because isn't it technically stop motion animation is the title?
Yeah, I guess it is. All right, so yeah, so then a subclass of animation. But after watching Fantastic Mr. Fox for the first time, which is a fantastic movie if you haven't watched it, Chet put me onto that. It was really good. Mm-hmm. And then watching this more recently for the first time in a while, and then like I have seen Coraline in the past, and I have seen a couple of others, but I do think that this is a great and underappreciated art, like you were saying, Joe, especially because these movies take years, so much more than anything else. However, I think it needs to have that specific style or story that would fit the stop motion. Like, I don't want them to do just like a stop motion Star Wars or a stop motion Marvel movie just because why not? Like, no, like you need to have like a specific like reason to be making this stop motion, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
My 2 cents on it is I grew up maybe watching too much Robot Chicken. So I'm definitely no stranger to, to stop motion animation.
I mean, yeah, of course, Robot. I don't know how I didn't even mention that.
Yeah. So I let that show speak for itself. Anyone who's seen it knows that show is ridiculous.
It's
exactly. It's definitely because I was gonna say like it's good for just like to crank them out quick, but it takes so long to do it, so it's definitely not. But I'm trying to think of the best way to even word it, because it's good for like really overdoing something without having to drop a budget on CGI. Because when Robot Chicken, you can just throw blood on these characters. You can just literally throw the figure across the screen. It's like, all right,
and all right, that's it. You're done.
That's all you have to do. Like it's a lot more simple for people who aren't looking to hire like 20 different teams. Like you have just the stop motion team, and they kind of just they kind of are just like the like they're all under one roof kind of thing.
Yeah.
Hold on, my voice is super. Jesus, I'm dying now. But yeah, so growing up with Robot Chicken, I mean, I've definitely seen some of the worst and best of stop motion with Robot Chicken because they have some really good episodes. The Star Wars one, speaking of Star Wars stop motion, they got some goated ass Star Wars. Like anything with Boba Fett is literally some of the greatest.
Anything with Palpatine.
Yeah, oh yeah, the Palpatine ones are so funny. Yeah, but I mean, just growing up on that, I don't watch much stop motion now. It's not something I like steer away from. It's more just there's so many great movies with real people in it, and I think that definitely it's a lot easier to, what the hell is the word? Jesus, it's oh my god, I'm freaking brain dead right now. It's a lot easier to like associate with the characters when obviously it's a real person staring you in the face, like staring into the camera. And I understand that, but if someone pitched a really good idea, a really good story, and it just so happens to be stop motion, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Like, it's not something where if it's like, all right, we need this in live action. No, definitely not.
Yeah, like I said, like if you haven't watched Fantastic Mr. Fox, definitely go watch it.
It's good. I think you said earlier too something about stop motion where it takes a little bit to adjust, or someone said it like to adjust. To watch. That is Fantastic Mr. Fox. Like the first couple minutes you're watching it, you're gonna be like, I'm never gonna adjust to like seeing the characters move like this, look like this. But once you do, it's a really good movie.
It is. Yeah, I will say. Like at first, I was like, all right, but once I actually watch it and the story behind it and everything with it, it's a great movie.
Yeah, good characters, good character design, just
good everything.
Good movie. It really is.
But yeah, I guess thank you guys for all your responses. We do appreciate them all, and stay tuned for the question of the week coming this Saturday, or I guess the same day that we're posting this episode, technically Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas Eve. For Venom. Fuck.
No.
We have to watch Venom.
No Venom.
It's already there. It's already on the schedule. It's been there for months now, and unfortunately the time has come.
Come on, Joe. Come on.
Are you sure?
Do you guys have any volunteers to join that movie or no?
Xander.
Probably Xander, yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. It's a top 10 too, so that'll.
Hold on, wait. I'm gonna text it right now and just be like, "Yo, do you want to be in?"
Xander loves watching grimy movies, so
hold on. Add Xander.
He likes to hate watch things.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, that was me hate watching Avatar, like a couple days ago.
But did you know it was going to be bad going into it?
I mean, any sequel that takes 11 years to make.
13.
Any sequel takes 13 years to make. That
Fair.
the first story didn't need a follow up. First story wasn't interesting, so
that's many movies. And again, that's Tim Burton. Like, thank you for not letting them make a sequel because
Yes, please, yes, thank God.
Yeah, like the entire movie was just a flex. Like it's just them showing how much they can do with CGI, which is cool, but it doesn't have to be 3 hours long. You don't gotta flex for 3 hours.
True, but I guess then DL, pull them up, put them on the screen, show me the numbers.
Hold up. Chrome tab. Give it to me. Hand it to me. Okay.
Get in there. All right.
So, as you guys can see, we got ourselves an average of 7.9 out of 10.
Wow, that is a ridiculous margin for 10s.
Yeah, wow, that's like, just looking at this alone, it's like you go from literally 3% at 5, and all of a sudden you're going to 7, 17, obviously the biggest chunk being that 8. And it goes up, though, which I think is not something we usually see. Normally, it's like more of like a normal distribution where you have like the top, you have the bell, and then all of a sudden it goes down on each side. But it's kind of, for some reason, it gets a little bit of a reinvigoration right there. I mean, it's a cult classic.
It's its fan base.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
when you have cult classics like this, you have people who will make IMDb accounts literally just to give it a 10.
Sit out, yeah.
Yeah. And also, same thing as we usually say, any movie that came out pre-internet. Some people might have watched this movie, but when it came out, and obviously there's no forum to post it on, so there's always that to take. But there is a lot of people who still reviewed this, like 343,000 people. That's
oh my god,
that's a lot. Because I'm looking at 100,000 people just gave it an 8.
Yeah,
that's crazy. But let's get into some.
In 1993, yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, and I'm saying that's a lot of freaking people who literally watched this after like all these freaking Internet 2.0 came out. All right, time for the juice. I mean, this doesn't look very juicy because I mean, this definitely isn't. Just by watching it, it's not skewed any sort of way. It's definitely not like an action movie would be more male and rom-com would be more female oriented, that kind of stuff. Like
this is pretty even all around.
Yeah, because like Jack Skellington, like he's not a very he doesn't go either of he doesn't have any much extreme to him. Like he's a very moderate character.
Yeah, he's kind of neutral.
Mm-hmm. Which I think kind of adds to the fact that I mean, look like there's really no disparity. I mean, it's actually more female. Well, I mean, it's always hard to tell because you have that big numbers here that's bringing them down. But, I mean, even 45,000. So, as you guys can see, the highest one is going to be 8.3 with females 30 to 44, which my guess would be maybe they were younger when this movie came out in the 90s. So now they're reviewing it now when IMDb is out. That's my guess. I don't know.
Probably.
Then also you have, and then the lowest is males, a 45 plus, just some boomers hating. So there's that.
And males 18 to 19.
Oh yeah, what the hell? The youngins and that. Damn, one of the first times you'll ever see old people and young people grouping up on something.
Seriously, they're all just hating. This movie is great. We've been
like that picture of like the two hands like arm wrestling. Yeah, 18 to 29, 45 plus, 7.8. But yeah, no, I mean, there's nothing too crazy going on here. There's nothing that I'd really want to point out besides the fact that somehow the 10 is the second highest rating. But also, of course, it is the cult classic, so it has those fans that are so diehard. And like this area is just like literally just non-existent. Yeah, like this, literally less people voted for all of this, and they just voted for 6. Damn. Okay, well, you guys see it. It's a little something nice for you guys. I'm glad we can start showing the numbers because it's so much easier to explain it when you guys can see it.
A lot easier to talk about it when you guys can see what we're talking about.
Yep. Yeah, but those are your numbers. And Steve and E?
Time to get to the ones that actually matter.
There it is. There it is.
Our own. With, of course, starting with the story. And I think I'm just going to go right ahead and say I gave the story a 4. I think the idea behind Jack being fed up with Halloween and trying to interpret Christmas and ruining it and understanding that maybe he is what he is because he's good at what he's doing and it's everything behind it. I just think it's just fantastic. Great, well written, great character development, and I have no complaints on it.
Okay. Joe, what'd you give it?
The scale is what again?
1 to 4.
1 to 4.
Oh, 1 to 4. I'd give it like a 3.5. It's not the most crazy plot, but again, it's not supposed to be. Yeah. It's just a good all around concept.
Yeah, I think I'd be in your same wheelhouse. I'm just gonna round down because I don't like giving decimals, just because I feel like that kind of opens the door. Like for us as hosts, like it opens the doorway to have like all these weird like, oh, this movie's a 3.5. This movie's like a 3.75, because then you kind of just open the floodgates. But for me personally, I'd probably just round it down to a 3 for the exact same reasons you said. Where there are some movies where you just watch it and it's like, wow, like movies that make you like I know you said some people base their personalities off of, but not by and large. Like there are some movies that like entire generations of people, like Fight Club kind of movies, but like there's just entire generations of people that are just like, that's them. So that would be like a kind of example of a 4, but I think a 3 is still very. I
think you guys are both right, actually. Like now that we're thinking, I think that 4 was probably a little too high. That this is more.
Yeah, like 4.
For what it's supposed to be, it is a 4. I'm just saying overall, it's like a 3.
Like compared, like in a vacuum, it's a 4.
For what it's supposed to be, it's great. It really.
I think I will.
An elaborate plot.
I think I just needed to take those shields off for a second. I was throwing that match.
Thinking about Jack Skellington.
Yeah, but I guess we'll move on to acting, which, to be honest, I gave it a 2. There's not really much in terms of, I mean, the voice acting is great. Don't get me wrong. We did talk about that before. However, I just don't like. There's just not much to it. Like
Yeah.
it's just there's not much of it. There's not much to it. It's
Yeah, I think I give it a 2 also, and of that 2, I think 2 is Jack. Like I think Jack is
absolutely
the entirety of that too.
the whole thing. I mean,
It's
he's
like
most
you're not
of the
going
movie.
there. You're not going there for like a 5-minute monologue. You're not going there for like some crazy like character like going from like 0 to 60 in the span of a movie. Like there is none of that in this movie, and it's not to slight it, but I mean it's a musical. Like I feel like most musicals kind of are like that, where you're going for the entertainment, the graphics of like just the overall presentation of the movie compared to the people in it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give another decimal because I feel like I just have to.
It's very tempting. It's always so tempting.
I can. I'm going to give it a 1.5 because
Okay.
the voice acting, it's not anything special, but it's really not supposed to be. The characters, the character design, the movement, that's what carries all the characters. Like, there's really not even many lines in this movie. There's not a lot of talking. There's not a lot of dialogue. Besides like Jack, Sally, and the scientist, what's his name, Feinstein or something?
Finkelstein.
Finkelstein.
There's not much acting in the voices. Most of the side characters are pretty flat. But again, they're not supposed to be. It's the design of the character that carries it.
Yeah.
People can deal with it.
Then going on to originality.
This is a tough one. I don't know where I'd put this one.
I gave it a 4. And I think that between the stop motion, especially for the time, because this was one of the first, like it's I mean not one of the first, because stop motion was around way longer than actual movies were, but like it's one of the first mainstream ones, I guess is the best way to put it. And it just the story is very original. The characters are great. The fact that it's a musical and a really good one at that, and then just Tim Burton's aesthetic and all the character designs and everything, and I think just it deserves that 4.
Yeah, I agree. I give it a 4 too because you cannot compare it to something. There's not like you can compare it to I guess some of the movies that came after it, like Coraline, kind of same genre, but pre this, there's not a movie you can even say this is like this movie. It does not compare to anything else. Completely original concept with the holidays, the character design. You really can't compare it to anything else.
No.
Okay. And you kind of had me with that because I had it at a 3 because I just, like I said, I was kind of spitballing because I wasn't even sure where to put it. But I kind of do agree with you. It's just tough because like the Christmas element of it obviously makes it unoriginal because there's so much Christmas movies. But like besides it being a Christmas movie or Halloween technically halfway, is that it really is where it ends. Like that's where it starts and ends in terms of being unoriginal. Like it's just the fact that it's a Christmas movie. Because even
like even with it being a Christmas movie, you have none of those stereotypical Christmas movie elements.
There's like no
to
tropes.
It.
Yeah, there's like no
it doesn't
tropes.
feel like a Christmas movie. It doesn't really.
It just feels like a movie.
You can't compare it to anything else.
Yeah, I think you guys will sway me. I think I do a 4. Yeah, because like when you think of Christmas movies and all the tropes that come with it, like what is there? Like obviously, like I couldn't even name one from this movie. Like I was gonna think of maybe like how they depicted Santa Claus, but that's how everyone depicts Santa Claus because that's what Santa Claus is. Like there is no like oh him. Yeah, that's all I got. I agree. I'd give it a 4 actually because you guys are spitting truth, putting truth to freaking.
Yeah, even the Santa, like he's definitely like a Tim Burton version of Santa. Like he's definitely a little darker feel, and that's why again I would love to see the concept work, just the concept art. No, I don't want him to make anything, just of what the other holidays would look like. We do actually get to see the Easter Bunny, so we do get to see him. Forgot about that.
Yeah,
I'd be curious.
That's
like,
true. I
the
forgot about
Leprechaun.
who leads the Thanksgiving and the Valentine's and the St. Patrick's Day world? I'm very curious.
I feel like the Leprechaun one would be pretty scary.
I'd just be curious. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I guess then going on to. Oh, sorry.
Rewatchability. No, I don't think you're good.
So obviously for me this was a little hard to rate because I haven't seen it in so long, and this was the first time in years. However, after rewatching this, I can see myself adding this to the short list of movies I have to watch every year for Christmas.
I agree.
Like I'm disappointed I haven't in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably give it a 3.
That's exactly what I have it as.
I think rewatchability is just another one of those categories where like you really have to be doing something crazy, like
to deserve that
yeah, because like when I think of rewatchability, at least what it means to me is like how often are you just sitting around looking for movies and like you see this movie, like all right, I would put this on, and I genuinely would put this on, but there are just some movies like maybe it's just
It's
because I
not
haven't
something
seen
I'm
it
gonna-
as much.
It's not something I'm gonna go and put on every few weeks
Hmm
No,
or
definitely
multiple
not.
times a year. Like,
I'd be a little concerned.
Yeah, yeah, because it definitely doesn't hit that 4 for me. Maybe because I haven't seen as much, but I think rewatchability, like being a 4, is just like grandfathered in like nostalgia movies, like Incredibles, like Infinity War, Endgame, like the movies where you just can't get enough of them. It's like you can watch that movie and you're still not satisfied because it's just there's so much to unpack.
there's just,
with
you
the
could,
movie.
you could get more out of it every time you watch
Yep.
it. To me,
Mhm.
that's also
Yeah, but
Bullet Train. Well, I think, but we'll get to that when we eventually
I still haven't seen
talk
it.
about that
I
movie.
want to see that.
Oh,
It's tough.
I
Joe, honestly, if you're down for it, I would love for you to not watch it and then your first reaction be on the episode of the Staincast. I feel like
Like,
that would be very interesting.
watch it right before.
Like, yeah, like
Or
watch
the
it
week
and
of.
then, or yeah, the week of, and then we talk about it.
I'd be down.
Running out of juice. I'm running out of juice.
I meant to see it in theaters. I was going to. It was my day off, and then it wasn't playing, and I was like,
Soup.
dang. Yeah.
Suit. But I guess finishing it off as a surprise to no
What'd
one.
you go?
and I'm sure-
What'd you give rewatchability, Joe? 3?
3. Yeah, we all did 3.
Yeah, I give it a 3. I was gonna say 2. I won't give it a decimal, so I'll say a 3.
And I said you got to stop. You're done with decimals.
No
You
more.
have
You're
reached-
cut off.
You've reached the max limit of how many decimals you can use in a rating.
But then I guess last but not least, cinematography, and I'm not going to even elaborate more than what we have this literal entire episode. It gets a 4. Like that, no question. 4. I don't even think we need to discuss anymore.
I'd give it higher if I could. Like it's amazing.
Yeah, like it deserves it.
Incredible.
It is such a visually pleasing movie.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just a testament to what we talked about in the beginning. How technically it's just like it's by name Tim Burton's movie, but it's a Tim Burton's movie. Like he's this. What is he? The story he did like the story for it or whatever it was.
Story and characters.
Yeah, and it's like that's all you need. Like he's not directing. He's not the one behind the camera. Like he's still like like all the great directors always have that thing that like you watch and it's like whether it be like shots on people's faces or like close ups or like everyone has every like great director has their trademarks, and when you can not even know like you just like blind watch a movie and you just know who the director is by that's when you get a 4 for cinematography, because it's like you just have those trademarks that even someone who's so like separated from the like movie community, I guess you could say, like they just know. Like Michael Bay, like explosions, like all right, you see movies with that many explosions, like all right, it's got to at least be someone who knows Michael Bay or is Michael Bay, like that kind of like level of. But hold on, let me retract that, because I would not call Michael Bay great. I'm taking that back. He's a great.
Yeah, we talked about that.
So he's a great just because he destroys things a lot. And it's a lot of practical, so I respect that. But that's it.
Yeah, but then I guess rounding off our scores, adding all the totals up, that puts mine at a 16 out of 20 for A Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yep, I got 16 as well. Wait, hold on. Let me double check, because doing math in public is not a good idea. I mean, on the spot is not a good thing to do.
I didn't know we were totaling.
It's okay, Joe. If you don't remember your total, that is fine. That is fine.
I give it 2 thumbs up.
Okay, that's all we need. 2 thumbs up from Joe.
This is mine. A thumbs up and a sideways thumb.
But
For 16 out of 20.
But yeah, final thoughts. Watch it if you've never watched it. It's definitely something that you need to. Besides that, it's a great family movie. Something you could put on with your kids, your grandparents, whoever. Yeah, that's all I have for it.
It's not a long movie.
Yeah.
No, not at all. It's very easy.
It's not take a long time to watch. It's very sit down and watch it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pacing's good for the whole family. I saw somewhere that said it's not a kid's movie because like maybe the subject material, but I mean
it's a kid's movie.
A kid isn't gonna.
Disney didn't want to release it under Disney.
Yeah.
And they thought it was too dark for kids. I don't know.
But now it's on Disney.
I think it was just because of like it's a very macabre movie where like it's a lot of death. There's a lot of, I mean, because they're dead people. Like it's Halloween Town, so like just the concept of people being dead, I think might just be a little bit of a like a stray. Like it might be a little bit of deterrent for parents. But I mean, they're figures. And
I don't
maybe
really believe in kid movie, adult movie, but we could talk about that another time. I think it's kind
Yeah.
of it's just,
that's a debate.
Nowadays, no.
It's not a thing. They make them for a wide audience. I mean, there's definitely things that kids shouldn't see, but I think just because a movie isn't like violent or sexual doesn't mean it.
Yeah.
That was a whole debate when Deadpool came out, which we can bring this debate back up when we do cover Deadpool. But that was a whole thing because parents were taking their kids to see Deadpool, not realizing what was going to happen because it's a superhero movie.
Mhm.
And then they were pissed off when they had tits and death and all that shit in it. And it's like, what did you expect?
Yeah.
It's Deadpool.
So where I draw, like where I kind of like, not to friggin' extend this episode anymore, but the thing I'll never understand nowadays is the whole like language, like coarse language kind of thing. Like language to me is like swearing has just completely. Like, I feel like I hear people swearing on the radio now. Like, you can get fined for it by the FTC or whatever. But like, it's just such a catch me if you can kind of situation now.
It's a generational thing. That's what it is. It's our generation. We don't care. We care more about mean language, like racial slurs and stuff. We don't really care about curse words. It doesn't hurt anyone.
Curses mean nothing at this point. It's literally because we grew up with Xbox Live parties where literally random people and kids are screaming, calling you every curse word under the sun. So it's like we just are so desensitized to them at this point.
Absolutely.
Like the last two presidents have used curse words many times, like even in office, like that definitely that would not have happened even like 20 years ago. That was
also true.
Yeah,
but those are all topics for another time. But thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you very much for tuning in. Good to see you guys again, even though we can't see you, but you can see us.
Of course. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at the Staincast. Go to our merch link in the bios. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube. Leave a comment. Like this video. All that fun stuff.
Yeah. What he said.
And then stay tuned for the same day that we post this episode. We're going to be posting the teaser and question of the week for Venom. And the question of the week is on. We'll tell you guys now. It's just going to be whatever your top 5 movies of the week of the year are, because we're curious since we're going to be talking about that as well. So stay tuned for that.
Does it have to be on Staincast reviewed movies or just top 10?
No.
Top. We're covering our top 10 movies that came out in 2022.
Okay. Gotcha.
And to anyone, I know it's probably one of the boys can say, Spider-Man does not count. Just because it runs into the next year, it has to come out. If it didn't come out before January 1st, 2022,
the extended cut does not count either.
What he said. Yes, like
the 2021 movie.
Yes, like any movie it has to have released in 2022.
Between January 1st, 2022 to December 31st, 2022, it has to have been released. There's like 3 movies I have on my list that I still want to watch, plus we may or may not see Babylon.
Maybe I mean
I gotta see that movie. I live in Babylon. I feel like I have to see that movie.
I mean this part probably can end up cutting anyways. I gotta see Babylon for Margot Robbie. That's it.
True.
That's it.
Oh, if you guys want to see it like early next week, let me know.
I wouldn't be opposed. I mean, I got another better do all day. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, and what we should do is we should do the top 4 movies of 2022 and the worst.
Can I stop the recording?
Yeah.
Wait, should we